Three things total. Three core elements that every artist needs to succeed. The draw, the drive, the delivery. Make sense?
Oh, hey, welcome back, entrepreneur. I guess I should say a lot of this won't make sense unless you've seen part one. Click on the top right, that little white lowercase I will lead you to part one. Go ahead and leave this video on pause. We'll wait right here for you. Okay, you're back. So you already know who this handsome fella is, and you already have kind of an idea of what he's about to talk to you about. So let's get into it.
Guess what? I have a big surprise for you. These three items are not a step-by-step list, a laundry list of to-dos. They're actually interchangeable. They're modular, meaning you can take them like building blocks and make your own cycle of success. So it starts with these three, but you could have an end cycle of like 9. But if you are looking for a step-by-step process on how to utilize these three elements to your ability, you have to keep what I said in mind. You have to keep them in a cycle. Because a lot of small businesses, when they start out, they start forming lists, and they'll have tons of them. They'll have list upon list upon list. And that's fine, but what if you thought of them in cycles? An ever-rotating wheel of list items that keeps revolving to the next item and keeps you moving as you're rolling right along. Because with lists, there's a beginning and there's an end. And it's actually been scientifically proven that humans work a lot better with cycles. Humans technically will work faster with lists because they want to get it all done. When you see a list, you see the beginning and end in one straight line, so your thinking moves linear. So you want to get it done. You want to move through this line as fast as possible and get to the end. Because what do you do with the list when you're done with it? You feel accomplished, you feel completed, but you toss it. On the other hand, with a cycle, humans will actually work more efficiently because once you reach the items, you want to spend more time on it because you're moving in a circle. And when you get to what would be the end item of the list, if it were a list, the end item would be here, but if it were a circle, it would be right next to the first item. When you get to the end item on a list, you're done. But when you get to the end item on a cycle, you start again. Because I hate to say it, and that's what we have to say to get people to believe it, but the human mind is actually tricked when you get to the end of the cycle because you believe you're taught to think that a wheel keeps rolling. So you have to keep rolling. You have to keep moving. And in a perfect world, more time would be spent on each item because it would be much longer to complete a full rotation if you had to redo something, right? But with a list, things kind of get disorganized because once you hit item 7, if there were 8 items, you hit item 7, you realize you forgot something in item 2, you need to come back to that, then item 4, and then your mind is being tossed back and forth and you don't know where you're about to go because it's an OCD person's nightmare. But with a cycle, each item is a little bit more fluid, but you feel more organized, more complete. And when you get to the next item, you want to make sure that the previous item is completed in every way you can. Because it's going to be a lot more difficult to go back to step 2 from step 7. Let's paint a picture here. Close your eyes if you want. Sure, we'll do this. Close your eyes. Close them. I see you in the back there. Close your eyes. Okay. You got it. Come on. It's for the effect. Okay. Close your eyes. Now imagine you're hitting the gym just after work and you're running on a treadmill for about an hour, typical workout. It's about 5:30 and you've got an hour to kill before it's dinner time and you got to pick up the kids from daycare and all that jazz. So you're running on a treadmill. Okay, the hour passes. How did it feel? You were running in a straight line, but essentially moving nowhere. Your movements were linear, but your distance covered was basically 0. Your minutes, your calories, your heart rate, even laps could be counted on a digital screen right in front of you. But what did you think about? Maybe what's for dinner tonight? What chores you gotta do? What bills and paperwork you gotta get through when you get home? What book you can't wait to get back to when you get to bed? Yeah, all the good stuff. Now picture this. Completely different picture. Completely different setting, different day. You're at a beautiful park at about 5:30 just after work with a running path that encircles a shimmering lake surrounded by colorful autumn leaves and the smell of fresh pine fills the air. You've only arrived to run for about an hour, but who knows? Such perfect fall weather, your kids can wait. Your daycare is expensive. You could stay longer. You didn't pay for it, after all. Now ask yourself, how did this feel? You're running in a circle, essentially, right? Not in a straight line, but kinda. But your distance covered is a massive amount compared to the treadmill belt, which is like 3 feet long. You see a lot more. Your feet feel the different textures of the path. Your laps are still counted, right? You might want to keep track of the minutes, calories, heart rate, but come on. Most runners will have a Fitbit for all that anyways. The screen is the same as the gym, it's just tinier and on your wrist. Oh, and it can send you distracting text messages every once in a while, sure. But the freedom to explore is much stronger here. You're getting the full effect of what runners should be experiencing. You're not confined to a running treadmill on a machine. Now, what did you think about during that run? Dinner again? Maybe that book? Or where to go for dinner? Not what's for dinner at home, but could you go somewhere out? Could you go out with your family? What breed was that guy's dog that just ran by? What? I don't remember, but you had that thought there. You wouldn't have had that on the treadmill. You might have even been thinking about something as you were looking at the sunset in this autumn, fall weather, and the sky turned orange to match the leaves around it. Maybe you were thinking about your dreams, certain aspirations and goals you might set for the rest of the year. It's just about to close. You've got a few months left. Maybe you can cover something. Maybe you can start that book that you've always been wanting to write. Now open your eyes. Besides the fact that humans might actually get a better workout running outside than on a treadmill, at the same speed, because outside there is no belt to assist with your leg pull as you're running forward. There is no assist with the turnover of every time your leg, when you push down, the treadmill will pull your leg back. You don't get that outside. You are completely relying on your own strength to cover this path around the lake. Every propelling movement of your leg hitting that ground and your foot pushing back is your own, essentially creating more work. So you do get a better workout with the outside, but we're not here to talk about physical fitness or anything. This is an art business, but you do want to not ignore your fitness. It is just good for all humans to make some sort of effort to take care of their bodies. We only get one, but that's neither here or there. Other than physical fitness, your every waking thought will be pulled outside as well. That's why I asked you, what were you thinking while you're walking on the treadmill or running? Most of your thoughts were they were linear, right? What's next? God, okay, what's next? Because that's whenever I'm on a treadmill, I'm just like, okay, what's next? Let's get this over with. But when you're running outside, you're thinking outside. You're thinking beyond what's next. We actually went running outside for the first time in months last week. On a nearby path, we had these giant sitting stones. So I randomly decided, I got this random outside thought that I was like, okay, why don't I just turn the rest of my workout into parkour? Let's do it. Let's jump over these stones 50 times. See if that is any better than running around this lake once. But essentially, humans were made to think in cycles. It speaks through even our very composition, our own DNA. We work in biorhythms, our minds work in biorhythms, our bodies and our skin disposal cycle. We work in 23 to 28 days, you're like a whole new man or woman. And our waking moments, our sleep, even our emotions are all tied to these biorhythm cycles. So when you're working on a list and you constantly have to jump back and forth between numbers to make sure you got everything right before you toss that list away, it can be very jarring for your mind to be thrown around back and forth like that. But I'm not saying don't think in lists. Lists are inevitable. We can't avoid them. They're going to be everywhere. But what if we took those lists and we broke down each item into a mini cycle of itself? And then we could repeat the process with a different cycle for the next line item. But with each cycle, you have your mind comfortably focus on what it is comfortable with as you work on the next content item of each cycle, completely checking off that light item, and then repeat the process, rinse and repeat. Maybe that'll work for you. Overall, lists can feel more accomplishing when you're done with them, but when a list is complete, what do you do with it? You throw it away. But what do you do with a cycle when you're done with it? You start the next cycle. Something to think about. So for these 3 core elements of what I believe artist business success is built on, maybe you can start thinking about your own cycle. You can take each one of these elements and build it out where you feel might be comfortable at first and start building your own cycle of success. Like I said, these are modular and interchangeable. Here's an example, okay? I actually do them, most cases, I actually do them in like a 5-step cycle. I'll go drive, draw, drive, deliver, drive, and then start it all over again for some extra drive to recharge.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
To break that down, first I drive to find that inspiration to keep me strongly flowing into my draw phase. So then when I draw and practice, I'm feeling that high even more, not just from my skill of the draw itself, but that drive will actually fuel into it. Each one of these modular blocks fuel into each other. But after the draw or the practice or creation phase of the whole thing, I'll move to another drive phase to motivate me to move to the delivery phase. So that in between drive, right in the middle, that gives me the best possible thought process to create the best possible delivery process. And then when that's complete, I will finish it off with one final drive just to recharge. Basically, I just take the main 3 and just sandwich them both with 2 more drives as the bun. Because I'm constantly finding I'll need more inspiration and motivation to do pretty much anything these days. Artist feels, am I right? But you need to feel free to build your own cycle of success with these 3 core elements. You could keep it easy and just go with the 3 in order, that draw, drive, deliver, and rinse and repeat. Or you could go crazy with like a draw, deliver, drive, deliver, draw. Most other business professionals and many websites online have actually come up with their own cycles of success that they are proven work. Here are some example cycle of successes. I'm not saying these are wrong, but they just might be a bit too tailored to a certain type of sales or marketing. Oh my God, that one scares me. That one hits me in the gut. But here on the JetFalco Entrepreneur Show, I just want to keep things as simple as possible and as interactive as possible. So pretty much any artist can take these modular building blocks and build their own cycle of success that they understand the most. But we'll always keep coming back to that one theme that I mentioned in the previous video: balance. As long as your cycle of success is balanced with these 3 core elements, you can't fail. You can't. You just can't fail.
Results may vary.
If you did find any worth or entertainment with this episode, all I can ask is that you turn that like button blue with a simple click and subscribe if you haven't already so you never miss out. With your support, I'm able to upload a brand new Entrepreneurs episode every week, as well as a lot of fun other zany content. I also want to invite you to leave a comment of what you thought about this episode. We're kind of getting into the groove of things. I hope you like it, so I'd love to hear from you. Another question of the day coming your way: what is your cycle of success? Do you already have one? Or would you use these 3 core elements to build one? I'd love to hear all about what you come up with. Connecting with other artists in the community is a valuable tool for sex. What the hell? I'm not gonna get monetized? Connecting with the other artists in the community is a valuable tool for the success of any entrepreneur. To continue this series and get more entrepreneur advice and tools for success, click right up here and it'll take you to the playlist. To get another random JetFalco video, click right here and YouTube will randomly suggest one for you. Click my little mini-me to subscribe, or if you'd like to join the list of amazing people who made this content possible, click right over there. The more people that get on it, the slower I'll scroll it. Here, I'll do it one more time. Boom! Those are my patrons. I love them. I appreciate you joining me, entrepreneurs. Here's to your own cycle of success.